How you going? This is Shane Hodge from The Comeback. Gee, it's been such a long time since I did a video. And I was sitting back this morning, I thought today is the day. Even though I've got nobody to film before me, I had to set it up on the tripod. I thought we'd have a little bit of a chat and talk about some things that are pretty important to me. And the reason I want to do that is this week was pretty interesting. When I wrote the Comeback book, I talked about the fact that I've been away for so long, didn't know my kids and all that sort of stuff, and I'd worked so hard at building a relationship up with them, and it's been good. But this past week was a little bit of a drama with one of my kids, and she got pretty angry at me, pretty upset. We had it's more like she had the fight, but it was a case of all that good work that we did in building our relationship and working on it. Well, all of a sudden it came to a pretty big screaming halt this week. And I thought to myself that there's a lot of people out there like that, a lot of divorced couples, and the husbands are struggling to build a relationship with their kids, or the wives are struggling, and every week they take one step forward and they take one step back. Well, in my case it was like I'd taken 2 years forward and 2 years back, and it was pretty dramatic. And I thought about it, and I thought, how am I going to repair this? What am I going to do? I'd operated on the fact of, that I can rebuild the relationship with them and everything will be fine. I'd followed all the things I said in the comeback, and, but it just wasn't working. And I had to do something that's very difficult for a lot of us. I had to take a good look at myself. I had to look at my life and follow one of the things that's pretty important in the comeback, and that's the editing room of life. Like a movie where we create this big long movie and we cut bits and pieces out of it, sometimes in our life we've got to do the same thing. And what I had to do was I had to look at this Shane Hodge movie. I had to look and think, well, there's some bits of that when it comes to the relationship with daughter movie, they're not working. This is not going to be a really good show. This is not going to be a movie that two people want to watch, and those two people are me and my daughter. And I had to sit down and cut out some things. And one of the things I had to cut out was, I thought that by SMSing them every day, by writing on their Facebook and giving them a call, that was maintaining the relationships, because they live a long way away from me, and I don't see them every day. But I worked hard thinking those sort of things were enough, but it wasn't. I needed a bit more than that. But the most important thing I had to edit out of my life was the me conversation. And you probably do the same thing. That when you call them up, you tend to talk about yourself for most of the conversation. You start off and you say, hey, how are you, babe? What's happening? How you doing? But as soon as they ask you a question of, how are you, Dad, you tend to do all the talking, and you'll be sitting back there telling them all about your life, the ups and downs, the ins and outs. Well, I'm telling you, it doesn't work. And one of the things we recommend in the comeback when it comes to editing room of life is exactly what I did. To get out of the me conversation and get into the them conversation. I had to think, how would I feel if I was her? I mean, she hasn't seen me for so long. She hasn't really had any relationship with me for so long. And all of a sudden, all I want to talk about is me. What she wants to do is share her life with me. She wanted to talk about her school. She wanted to talk about going to university next year. She wanted to talk about her boyfriend. She wanted to talk about the sports stuff. She wanted to talk about her job. She didn't want to sit there and listen about my problems or my situation or my circumstance. So what do we learn from this video? The editing room of life when it comes to a relationship, when you're trying to come back, cut out the bit where you think that you're the most important person, because you're really not. What's important in the conversation is the other person. In my case, my daughter. And it might be the same in your case, or it might be your wife that you're trying to get back with, your husband that you're trying to get back with. And you'll probably find that all the drama you had was because you weren't really listening to their life. you were more interested in sharing your life. So that's what I want to talk about today, and I'll leave it with you. I want to send you big hugs. Thank you so much for reading all my articles on ISU, which is www.isu.com, and buy my book at Amazon or at iTunes. Really cheap, $1.99 to download the ebook. Fantastic Christmas gift if you want to send it to somebody. And so on that point, yeah, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks very much.